which looks like video has been put onto paper with texture. And here's some multi-layered stuff. So one of the areas we wanted to do is allow people to make really nice multi-level, multi-layer picture-in-picture effects and composited effects. So in this case here, we bundle a piece of software called New Blue, Video Essentials. And what New Blue does is allows you to make these really neat XYZ 3D sort of movements. You'll notice in the background on this particular effect, I have a couple of things happening. I have a title. In the background, I have a piece of music. If I click on that, you'll notice there's the file. This is just a scan file from some sheet music that was written for this piece. And what I did is I added a spotlight to it. We have a real-time spotlight, so you've got this spotlight effect. And I've also added a sort of a panning effect. You can see the music sort of panning along. Now, in addition, I've added this, the girl is a photograph of her there with the torn edges and a shadow. Still very easy to do. If I double-click on that, you'll notice that I'm using masks. You know, we support masks that you can use. And what a mask does is it basically gives you this really nice edging. You can change your edging. You can even make your own masks. So in this case, I can use a different mask. You can see the effect there. It has these different sort of edge effects. The other thing I've done is I've used the picture-in-picture effect from New Blue. If I customize that, you'll notice here is a really nice piece of interface. I can go in and, for instance, change within New Blue. I can change how this picture-in-picture works. So I can go and, for instance, position the keyframe right here, and I'll just say make it a doormat. And what it will do is it will tween to the different positions that I have on that picture-in-picture. So I can have it spinning around. I can add all kinds of things. For instance, I can add one of these presets here, like that. Jump around the keyframes. So in this case, I can go in here and rotate on the Y, rotate on the Z, or Z rather, rotate on the X, so on and so forth. And we will tween between all of these. So once I like that, I can just say OK, and you'll notice that basically in real time, I have the effect that I wanted from before. A little exaggerated, but I think you get the point on that. So here we have another New Blue effect that has a reflection on the video. You'll notice that that's a popular look on television and production. People have effects. And it tilts, this sort of thing here. Again, down here I have some more graphics, panning in the background, graphics panning in the front with her knocked out, all in real time. So you'll notice when you're working with VideoStudio, and we hear this a lot from the users, is that it's a very quick piece of software. And you can tell that from the quality of the productions that a number of VideoStudio users are submitting, the quality is really high. So that basically means to us that they're using more of their creativity and not getting sort of slowed down by the tools and the learning curve. So you'll find it very easy to use. And here we have some combined effects. There's a roto-sketch effect together with a color effect. Again, you can make your own effects. Here I have two changed in here. You can make your own effects and then save those as your own effect. Green with the GoToMeeting. So my machine is just getting nailed to death. So let's go back to that. So here's an instant project right there. I'll insert that instant project to the timeline. And there you have a project already in the timeline, all made, ready to go. But if you wanted to use your own content, we allow you to drag in your own content and replace what's here. So I'll go into my photos, for instance, and I will go back to the girl on sax, drag it in, and replace that clip. And I'll say I'll replace this clip. And you'll notice that all that panning and scanning that was happening in that instant project is used with my clips. So for instance, the geese, I'll pop into here, and I will just pan through here. There as well. And then I'll go through here. Say, for instance, we have this placeholder text. I can go in here and say jazz and geese. I can position that like there. And let me just zoom out here a bit. And there's my whole production that I used from the template. I used my own content. So you can do that as well. As you work through your production, you can use Instant Project to be able to grab all kinds of projects and download the templates from the web. So in a nutshell, Greg, I think that is VideoStudio Pro. Do you have any questions that I could answer? Have been submitted. Is Greg still there? Okay, so let me just check here.
Greg is on mute. Greg is on mute. I was talking away here, unfortunately. So, Jan, we do have some questions in the questions tab if you want to take a look at that. And in the meantime, while Jan is probably getting a drink of water after all that talking and having a look at some of the questions that you have asked, I want to point out that participants in this webinar are eligible for an offer that we have on right now on corel.co.uk. On VideoStudio, you can get that for $79.99 or $59.98 for an upgrade, and with it you'll get a free version of Registry Booster 2010. And as Jan was talking about earlier, it's pretty handy to have a well-tuned machine when you're doing video editing. So combining the speed of VideoStudio with a nice, well-tuned and high-speed machine will be very useful to you. So at this time, Jan, maybe I can throw it back to you and ask some questions, or I can just ask some that have come in from the crowd so far. So the first question I have so far.
I do have one here. So somebody was asking about digital SLR cameras. I mentioned earlier on that, yes, you can work with digital SLR cameras. You can import from Canons or Nikons and bring in. They are movie-based, which is QuickTime, and we support that directly, and we also accelerate that within the timeline. So, yes, no problem.
Excellent. So one question we had is about how to import. We start from importing, of course, Jan. So is there an easy way to import from a camera? Because we had one viewer here who was found that all they could import was a picture of themselves when they were from the built-in camera. So do you have any tips on how to import successfully?
Yeah, there are a couple of ways. When you go to capture, for instance, the whole metaphor of capturing has been changed. It used to be a number of years ago that capture basically meant hooking up a device to your computer and then your analog camera to that device and then capture from that device. And it would be a serial capture. So 1 hour of video would take 1 hour to capture. As time moved on, as we digitized our world and had DV cameras, we got to the point where now we can have from our cameras, we import files. So cameras are file-based. So there are a couple of ways of doing that. The import digital media and import from mobile device are the ones that allow you to bring in from file-based cameras. So you can either, one way is take your camera, attach it to the USB of your computer, and then browse for your camera as you would in Windows Explorer. You'd browse for your camera, select the footage, and then import it. Another way would be to take the card out of your camera. If your camera has an SD card, you take that card out of your camera and plug it into your SD card port in your computer. You can also import from there, browsing just as you would in Explorer. Another way is to take that card and put it into your computer and then import it with other software. If you're using like Picasa or something like that, import it with that, and then bring in the